Hey, hope you're having a good day. Quick question before we start. If your two biggest clients called you tomorrow and said they're pausing all hiring for the next 6 months, how would that feel? Well, for most recruitment agency owners I talk to, that's not a hypothetical. It's the thing that keeps them up at night. Because the truth is, most agencies don't have a new client problem, they have a predictability problem. The work comes in waves. Some months you're turning business away, other months you're refreshing your inbox, hoping a referral shows up. So, in the next 20 minutes or so, I'm going to walk you through a system that fixes exactly that. It's called AI lead generation. And by the end of this video, you'll understand precisely what it is, how it works, and why it's almost unfairly well suited to recruitment agencies specifically. I'm not asking you to take any notes. I'll put everything on a screen as we go. Let's get into it. So here's the core problem. I want to name it clearly because most people dance around it. Look, you're excellent at the actual job of recruiting, sourcing candidates, screening, managing the process, closing the placement. That's your craft. You're good at it. But landing new clients, new companies to recruit for, that's a completely different skill. And it's the bottleneck of the entire business. Think about where your clients actually come from right now. For most agencies, it's three things: referrals, repeat business, and your personal network. And look, those are the best leads in the world. High trust, fast to close. I'd never tell you to stop replying to them. But here's the problem. With all three, they're completely outside of your control. You can't make a referral happen this week. You can't force a past client to start hiring again. So your revenue ends up tied to other people's timing instead of your own effort. That creates a problem. A pattern every agency owner knows: feast or famine. You land a big client, you get busy delivering, you stop doing business development because you don't have the time, and then that contract ends, and suddenly the pipeline is empty, and you're starting again from zero. The agencies that break out of the cycle all have one thing in common: they built a second engine, a way to generate new client conversations on demand that doesn't depend on luck or timing, and that's what I want to show you today. So let's define it. What actually is AI lead generation? In plain English, it's a system that uses data and AI to find your ideal client companies, write personalized outreach to the decision makers at those companies at scale, and start real conversations so that qualified hiring managers end up booked on your calendar every single week without you cold calling anyone. Let me break that down because every word matters. You find your ideal client companies. We're not blasting random businesses. We identify the exact type of company that hires for the roles you place in the industries you're strong in. Personalized outreach at scale. This is where the AI comes in. And it's the part that's changed everything in the last couple of years. In the past, personalizing an email meant human researching each company by hand. Slow, and now AI can read a company's website, their job postings, their LinkedIn, and write genuinely relevant opening lines for hundreds of contacts at once. The personal touch of one-on-one outreach with the volume of automation. And you start real conversations. The goal isn't to sell over email, it's just to open a door. To get a busy hiring manager to reply and say, "Yeah, actually, tell me more." That's it. It's not magic. It's not spam. It's not some black box. It's a repeatable system. And let me show you the old way versus this way so the difference is crystal clear. On the left, the old way of getting clients. On the right, AI lead generation. Let's go down the list. The old way: you wait for referrals to trickle in, passive, unpredictable, or you cold call, where you dial 80 times to get two pickups, and one of them tells you to lose their number, or you fire off generic LinkedIn messages that everyone can smell from a mile away and instantly ignore. The result is that feast or famine swing we just talked about. And your growth is permanently capped by the size of your personal network. Now, the new way. Instead of waiting, you got targeted lists built to your exact ideal client profile, only companies worth your time. Instead of generic messages, AI personalizes every single one so it reads like you wrote them just for them. Instead of 2 pickups a day, you're reaching hundreds of right fit contacts every week. And instead of revenue swings, you get predictable pipeline that compounds month over month. The biggest shift is that last line. With the old way, your growth ceiling is your network. With this, your only ceiling is your capacity to deliver. That's a fundamentally different business. Now, how does all this actually work? Let me walk you through the engine. This is the whole system on one screen. 5 steps. Let's walk you through each. Step 1, define your ICP. ICP just means ideal client profile. Before we send a single email, we get precise about who we're going after. What industries you place in? What size companies? 20 employees, 500, more. Which job titles control the hiring budget? The HR director, the founder, the VP of engineering. We lock this down first because the entire system is only as good as who it's pointed at. Step 2, we build the data. Now we go and find those people using tools that hold hundreds of millions of business contacts. We pull a list of decision makers that match your profile exactly, and we verify every email so we're not bouncing and damaging our reputation. Clean, accurate, targeted data. Step 3, AI personalization. This is the step that makes the whole thing work in today's world. For every contact on that list, AI looks at their company and writes a relevant, human sounding first line. So instead of "Dear Sir" or "Madam, I am said recruiter," it's something specific that proves we actually know who they are at scale, hundreds at a time. Step 4, send at scale safely. We don't blast everything from your main email. That would torture your domain. We use multiple dedicated inboxes, properly warmed up, sending in controlled volumes with smart follow-up sequences. This is technical plumbing that keeps you landing in the inbox instead of spam. It's part most people get wrong when they try this themselves. And step 5, booked calls. Here's the output. Interesting hiring managers reply. The system books them onto your calendar, and you step in to do what you're already brilliant at, having a conversation and closing the client. The key to understand steps 1 through 4 run in the background. You're not sitting there sending emails. The engine runs, and you wake up to replies from companies that genuinely need hire. You only show up for step 5. That part actually makes you money. So now this system works for a lot of industries, but I'll be honest with you, it works exceptionally well for recruitment. Better than almost any other business I've seen. Here's why. There are 4 reasons on screen. 1, the deal size. Your average placement fee is what? $15,000? Often a lot more for senior or retained roles. That means you don't need 100 new clients. You need a handful, basically. One single client can pay for this entire system many times over. The ROI math is incredibly forgiving. 2, your decision makers are easy to find. You're selling to HR leaders, founders, and hiring managers. Those are clearly defined job titles we can filter for precisely in the data. Compare that to industries where it's murky, who even makes the buying decisions. You've got it easy. 3, the demand is built in and recurring. Companies are always hiring. Roles open up constantly. You're not trying to create demand out of nothing. You're just trying to be in front of the right company at the moment of roles open. Volume outreach is how you catch the timing. And then 4, clients repeat. This is the quiet superpower. Land one good client, do great work, and they don't hire you once, they come back for the next role and the next. So the real value of a single client book through this system isn't one fee. It's a relationship worth many placements over time. Put those 4 together and you've got the ideal profile for this kind of system. High value per win, easy to target, constant demand, and compounding lifetime value. And that's why I'm so confident showing this agency owners specifically. Let's make this concrete because I don't want this to feel like a theory. Here's what a typical month actually looks like in numbers. And I want to be upfront. These are realistic, conservative figures once the system is running, not best case fantasy. Start at the top. We send around 1,000 targeted emails in a month. Every one matched to your ideal client profile. Of those, roughly half get opened. A 50% open rate is very achievable with strong subject lines and good deliverability. From those opens, you'll see around 80 replies. Call it an 80% reply rate. Not all are yes, some are not right now, some are tell me more, but they're real conversations with real decision makers. Those conversations turn into roughly 20 book calls on your calendar, qualified meetings with people who hire for the roles you fill. And from 20 calls a month, closing even a fraction gets you 3 to 5 new clients per quarter. And remember, those compound because they come back. Now, look at that bottom number again, connected to what we said earlier. 3 to 5 new clients, each worth multiple placements. Which brings us to the actual return. Let's say you sign 4 new clients in a quarter at an average $15,000 placement fee, and most of those clients give you more than one placement. You're looking at well over $100,000 in new revenue from one quarter from a channel that didn't exist in your business before. And here's the part I want you to sit with. A system like this costs a fraction of a single placement fee per month, so you don't need to work spectacularly. You need to land you one client, and it's already paid for itself many times over. Everything after that is profit. When the numbers look like that, the question stops being, can I afford this? The real question becomes the one on the screen. Why aren't we already doing this? Now, I want to be straight with you about timing because who promises you instant results is lying. And you're too smart for that. This is a 90-day picture, 3 months to a predictable pipeline. And here's how it ramps up. Month 1 is the build. This is foundation work. We're warming up the sending domains so we land in inboxes, locking in your ICP, building the list, and writing the sequences. Campaigns go live toward the end, and realistically, you might see 0 to a couple of calls this month, and that's normal. This month is about laying that track. Then month 2 rolls around. Now we're at full volume. Replies start coming in consistently. We're watching the data, refining the messaging based on what's actually landing, and you should see somewhere in the range of 3 to 8 calls. Month 3 is where it clicks. The system is dialed in. We know which angles work, which industries respond, which subject lines win. We double down. This is where you start to feel somewhere in the range of 3 to 8 calls. This is where you start to feel that predictable flow, 8 to 15 qualified calls a month. And the reason I show you this is so you go in with the right expectation. This is an engine you build, not a lottery ticket you scratch. The agencies that win are the ones that start now and let it compound, because the system you build today is paying you back in month 3 and every month after. So where we are. So here's where we are. You know the problem, client acquisition. It's unpredictable, it's capping your growth, you know the solution. A system that puts qualified hiring managers on your calendar every week on demand. You've seen the numbers and the timeline, so you know it's realistic. The only thing left is to see whether it's the right fit for your agency specifically. And that's exactly what the next step is for. If you click the link below, you can book a free strategy call with me. On that call, we'll map out your ideal clients together. I'll show you exactly how the system would run for your agency, and you'll walk away with a clear picture of the opportunity. Whether or not you ever work with us, no pressure, no obligation, no hard sell, just clarity. The agencies that build this engine stop living month to month and start growing on their own terms. If that's where you want to be, book the call. I generally have to show you what's possible. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the call.